unpopular opinion, but I love acrylic paints. There, I've admitted it. I like working with them, I like how fast they dry, and I don't know, I just think they're really fun. But first, my name is Jessica, and this video is sponsored by me, Jessica Darling Studio. Thank you, JessicaDarlingStudio.com, for seeing my value and sponsoring this video. No, but in all seriousness, I get that this is an unpopular opinion. If you have an opinion on this subject and you want to have civil discourse in the comments below, absolutely be my guest. Do you like acrylic paints? Do you hate them? I definitely see both sides of the coin on this. But as someone that has been an inspiring artist and has really been devoting myself to the craft of becoming a better and better painter and learning everything I can, I used to feel pressure to use oil paints. Like it felt like, oh, if I want to be an artist, I need to be very professional. And if I want to be professional, it only makes sense that I use oil paints because that's what a lot of people are doing, and that's what you see in art history museums and in galleries. There's definitely a lot of oil paints. They're a little bit harder to work with, or they're not as, I'd say they're not as intuitive, and it takes there's definitely a learning curve there. Now, I have used oil paints and I have a few oil paintings that I have worked on, but I never really got to the point with oil paintings that I was satisfied with the pieces that I made. And now, this is not to say that I might, in the future, I might have an interest in working with oil paints. That's a very real, you know, thing that I might end up doing eventually. But right now, for where I'm at in life, I am just really enjoying all that acrylic paints have to offer, especially because I like to do mixed media work. I just think it's easier to layer it. Now, your girl here is, if you look at my natal chart, and if you're not an astrology person, that's fine, but we probably can't be best friends. Uh, but if you look at my natal chart, or when I look at my natal chart, all I see is fire signs. Like, I literally, my entire natal chart is dominated by fire. So it just, in my head, after exploring both oil paints and acrylics, it kind of makes sense to me why I would enjoy acrylics and their ability to rapidly dry, which is usually what a lot of people hate about them, is how fast it dries. But I'm an Aries. I'm an Aries sun sign, moon sign, Mercury sign, and then there's my rising sign is Sagittarius, and there's just like a lot of quick, energetic, fast moving energy in my chart. I've really had to learn to develop patience to even get this far in my art career. I've really had to like learn how to slow down and understand that becoming an artist isn't going to happen for me overnight, and it's just a lot of small steps to becoming a great artist, which was a really hard lesson because when I first started this journey back in 2020, I just wanted to like immediately start selling work, but I didn't have skills. Like I made some interesting pieces and they were all right, but like I would not sell them today. Like they never sold, and I would never market them again. And if you want to see them, they're still on my Instagram at the very, very bottom. I still have some of those pieces that I was showcasing back in 2020. I feel like with my fire energy, I crave fast and kind of this like fast paced painting style and this almost like instant gratification, when it comes to the way that I'm laying the paints down. And so I think that for me it really works. And this is what really anyone should ask themselves when they're deciding, do I want to paint with acrylics versus oils, is what is your capacity? Like, what is your patience level? How much space do you have to let your oil paintings cure? Because that's another thing for me, is I don't necessarily have all of the space to have a bunch of different oil paintings curing at the same time. And for me, I like paint fast and I can create a painting in a day or a day and a half. And so if you think about that, at the end of the year, I could potentially have 50 paintings if I'm doing one a week. So, anyways, it's just like the math to me. I'm like, I don't know. I just don't even want to deal with where I'm going to store these, where I'm going to let them cure. How do I even finish them? And all of that. And my final thoughts here, too, is really whatever is fun to you should be what you do. Don't feel pressure to use specific mediums because you feel like it's going to be more professional or because you're going to think it is more well received. At the end of the day, painting should be fun. And if you can really carve into yourself and carve into each painting, you're going to find more and more of yourself. When you find yourself and you find your signature style, that's kind of like when you find your signature style and all of your pieces coming together. That's a beautiful place to be. And it should be driven from having fun. And yes, obviously, when we are painting and we're starting to paint, and we might see a painting in our imagination and we're trying to figure out how do we get that image in our imagination onto canvas, that part can be a little frustrating. But if we can have fun along the way and we can have fun exploring, and even when we make a piece of artwork that we don't necessarily like, and we can just really enjoy our journey, I feel like that is where the magic happens. Because, like I said, and this is hard for me to accept, as all of the fire and projector energy I have in my life and in my body, that this art journey is not one that is going to give you instant gratification. It is not one giant leap, but it is many small steps to becoming a great artist. So you have to be willing and available and create space for yourself to make tons and tons and tons of art. Tons of art that might not even be seen by anyone but yourself. Art that might just be for the sake of exploring different compositions or different colors. Art that will never sell. Art that might sit in boxes. The more art we create, the more art we have sitting in boxes, it gives us the opportunity to bring certain pieces into light and have a beautiful and cohesive look. So the next time you're in a gallery and you're looking at someone's art, just know that the art hanging on those gallery walls is one of hundreds, maybe even thousands. And really, those few paintings that they have displayed tells an entire journey of a lifetime committed to their craft, whether that is acrylics, mixed media, oil pastels, oil paints, pencil, whatever it is. Thank you guys for joining me. Subscribe if you found this interesting. Let me know in the comments below what mediums do you like working with. There's nothing off limits. I love unconventional mediums and tools and everything as long as you are creating and having fun and exploring a little bit more of yourself with each piece. I'll see you guys next week. And thank you to my sponsor, Jessica Darling Studio at jessicadarlingstudio.com.